The club just didn't perform at the peak level, and they relied on, I don't know, what you want to call it, individual brilliance from Lewis Morgan all season, or Breck Shea being a super sub off the bench, scoring more goals than the entire team other than Lewis Morgan. That's insane, by the way. Breck Shea being the second joint top scorer at the club last year. All of this is going to change. We have a full offseason of players at our disposal. Jovan Jones is here. Kelvin Leardham's here. Shawcross is here. Higuain and Matuidi are here in preseason. That wasn't a thing. LGP, like I said, same thing with Gonzalo and Blaze. He was not here in preseason last year. Phil Neville has been able to work with these guys for the last 6 to 8 weeks preparing for the season. Now, everybody had their doubts about Phil Neville, too. He didn't deserve the job, nepotism, whatever you want to call it. But I listen to Phil Neville, and I think of a guy who's inspired, who wants to be consistent, who knows what he wants to do. I don't want to get too much into detail because I have 2 hours to talk about everything. When I say everything, I mean everything. But it seems like the club is turning a new leaf. And I hope I'm not wrong in saying that, but I just genuinely think this is going to be a way better season than it was last year. And this is broad. I'm being as broad and as general as I can be because I want to get into detail on specific things today. But this team, this club has turned a new leaf, and it just seems like results are going to be a lot better. We aren't going to – maybe we'll be fighting for a playoff spot, sure, because it's down to 7 now. Of course, last year they increased the playoff spectrum and allowed 10 teams to get in. But we're back to 7. There's 14 teams in the East. Nashville's still in the East for some reason, I guess scheduling purposes. But I think they're going to be fine. And maybe we won't finish first in the East. I don't think that we're going to finish first or second or even third or fourth. But if you get into the playoffs, magic can happen. And that's Phil Neville's only job. That is his only job this season. It's to get into the playoffs. That needs to be the goal. Finish top 7. Because at this point, with what I've seen from the Open Cup, it's not happening. You don't have to worry about the first 3 games anymore. Maybe it's happening later on, but get it. Just worry about the league. Let's get it done. We have a great show lined up today, okay? And I'm going to get into more of Phil Neville. I'm going to get into more of our DPs and what I expect them to do this year. I'm going to talk probably next about both Pellegrini and Matuidi and just cover those things and give you guys an idea of what's going on and what the club has had to do in order to fix this roster and be able to be eligible to play come Sunday. And they are. They've gotten it figured out. So we'll talk Matuidi, we'll talk Pellegrini, then we're going to talk Neville and then players and an outlook on the season. I'll probably break down how I think we'll take on the Galaxy, what they might bring with Chicharito. All of that's in store today. So make sure you guys stay tuned in. It's going to be a good show. 2021 MLS season is upon us. We're finally here. Can't wait. Saturdays from 1 to 3 p.m., baseball fans can go deep into the count with Alex Adhd and Christian Chase. Catch a show that talks Marlins and all the big stories in the major leagues. Every Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m., Seamheads have a new home. Listen to Deep Into the Count exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
You're listening to Red with Austin Robillard. Take Onside Radio your home for sports talk everywhere with a MyTuner Radio app. Find the app at OnsideRadio.com.
I'm Ryan Seacrest. First responders are people who stand for a greater purpose. They will be there for you when nobody else is, to help you, your family, your community. This is their selfless promise. This is their sworn duty, to protect, to serve, to help. They put themselves in harm's way for us. They come to the rescue at times when we need them most. First responders are making enormous personal sacrifices to keep showing up for us and fighting the good fight. Nearly 70% of all firefighters are volunteers. That means when they get injured or quarantined, they may not have a way to pay their rent or keep their family safe and fed. No matter who you are or where you live, when you call 911 and ask for help, first responders show up. Now, let's show up for the people who show up for us every day and every night.
Go to firstrcf.org and make a difference today.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Dunkin' to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
Inter Miami CF fans, Onside Radio is the place to guide you through the 2021 season. Go to our website at onsideradio.com and download any of our apps to listen to your favorite team. Onsideradio.com is your home for La Rosa Negra.
He has an overbite that makes him look like a cartoon character, a slightly crooked eye, and an uncommonly wrinkly neck. In the right light, he can look a little like a garden gnome, and he'll wear a bow tie just because. Sure, you might call him a little quirky, but that's exactly what makes him so perfect. Tuna is a 3-year-old Chihuahua Dachshund mix with more than 700,000 followers on Instagram, and it all started because he was adopted. You can't buy a best friend like Tuna, but you can adopt one. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
Welcome back to Red Card Radio. To reach out to Austin, send a text. The text line is 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Austin Robillard.
Yes, please make sure you send in a text to that number. I want to respond to everybody and anybody today. 844-416-8123. All your thoughts on Inter Miami this year, send a text. I've got it up. And if you're on YouTube watching, I'm about to pull that up so if I can watch the chat here. If you want to chat, let's do it. Like I said, all Inter Miami today for these 2 hours. It's going to be a lot of fun. But I'm going to get some of the not so fun stuff out of the way. Yesterday, after I woke up from a nap, I had a long 6-day work week that started off with a 17-hour shift on Sunday. I was taking a nap. I wake up, and one of my Inter Miami group chats, or whatever you want to call it, my eyes were open to this Pellegrini Matuidi investigation wrap-up and how they're having to handle it. And The Athletic did a phenomenal job. Stam Seagal did a great job yesterday covering it and explaining exactly kind of what happened. Very simply put, Inter Miami played with 4 designated players last year. That is illegal. It is cheating. It is wrong, but it happened. When Matuidi was first signed and he was named as a targeted allocation money player, everybody was like, holy crap, how did they pull that off? How is he not making more than whatever the money is, 1.6 or whatever $1 million in salary? Well, I guess that just happened. I don't know what the compensation was that put him over the edge. I saw maybe something about a house, or I don't know. I don't actually know what happened. Just know that he was compensated more than what he should have been as a regular TAM player. Going into Friday, our 4 DPs from last season were still on the roster. Matthias Pellegrini, Rodolfo Pizarro, Gonzalo Iguain, and Blaise Matuidi. We knew a long time ago that Blaise Matuidi, when the investigation first started, that he would end up becoming a designated player. But we didn't exactly know what was going to happen with Matthias Pellegrini. Because let's be real here, they were not getting rid of Iguain, and they were not getting rid of Pizarro. What were they going to do with Pellegrini? And man, the questions that I had personally went all over the place. When this guy first signed with Julian Carranza as a designated player, giving someone that title in MLS, giving up one of those spots, you have to have the highest of hopes, right? And for Pellegrini, as a 21-year-old coming, he ended up turning 22 during the season, or right before the season. I believe he shares, I don't know if he shares the same birthday as me, but we're pretty close. Sometime in March. But he was bought for a transfer fee from Argentina for $6 to $9 million. I think it's a little more than 6 from what I've read, but anywhere between $6 and $9 million, you better have bought a good player, especially, in the world market, maybe it's not as much when you're thinking of the top 5 leagues. But for MLS, spending that much money on a player is quite a big deal, to say the least. And I was ready. Pellegrini, he's young. He's got potential. He could be really good. He's a winger. Had all of the I don't know. I was excited for him. And to say that last season with him was underwhelming is an understatement. He didn't fit. I don't know if it had to do with Alonso and just the team as a whole, but he didn't fit. With that said, with there being 4 DPs, obviously Pellegrini would be the one to be moved. But how would they do it? Would it be a trade within the league? Would it be a buyout? Would it be a transfer to another league, a la the Brazilian league, because that's the only one he could have gone to? With the transfer markets being closed around the world, it was tough to find a solution for this. It really was. And somehow I really think that MLS bailed us out. So here's what happened. The club announced, which I didn't really like, but what the club said was that Pellegrini's contract was bought out, okay? And then he was loaned to Fort Lauderdale CF. This made no sense to me because in my mind, a contract buyout is, okay, you and the player have agreed to a certain amount of dollars to rid him and terminate him of this contract at the club. That's a buyout. So how in the world are you going to classify this as a buyout, which it's not, but for some reason that's what MLS, that's the terminology they use. But how do you buy somebody out and loan them? So my mind is spinning fully. I'm like, what's happened? How is he bought out yet they have the right to loan him to Fort Lauderdale CF? It didn't make much sense. But basically what Miami did was they bought off his MLS salary budget, meaning he's not technically, he is not on the roster. He cannot compete in 2021 for an MLS side. He can only compete for Fort Lauderdale CF or anybody else under MLS, whatever they decide to do. He's still getting paid. the rumored $690,000 or whatever it is, that he's still getting paid that money. He's just somehow not on the Miami salary budget, which, listen, if MLS says that that's okay, then sure. If that's what you had to do, that's what you have to do. But I think that this is the way that Inter Miami wanted to lean anyway. When you consider the fact that you bought this guy between $6 and $9 million, you want to get at least some return on him if you have to let him go. Now, in previous shows, I was saying it was going to be really hard to talk him down and renegotiate a contract because of, 1, himself, 2, his agent, and 3, the MLS Players Association. It is hard to get through those three barriers and renegotiate and restructure a contract in MLS to talk him down under the $612,000 threshold. Sure, as an outsider's perspective, you're looking at it as this guy didn't want to take $78,000 less dollars to play in MLS. Now he can't play in MLS. Well, let's be honest. The club Pellegrini here is not being done right. I mean, there were so many different options that could have happened, but I just don't. It sucks for Pellegrini, okay? It sucks, and I feel bad for the guy because I still think he's quality. I still think he has potential, but now he can't play in MLS. He's going to have a whole entire year where he's just not playing. I mean, maybe they'll find a suitor in the summer for him. It just sucks. And with the thought that he was going to become a young DP, not knowing the actual terms of what a young DP and a U22 player and that whole initiative meant, hindsight's 20/20, right? You look back at that decision and you say, well, you probably shouldn't have done that. No crap. I mean, it is what it is. I have serious doubts that Matthias Pellegrini plays with Fort Lauderdale CF. I think he just takes a couple months off till July, honestly. Trains with the first team because you are allowed to do that. They're allowed to train with whoever they want. He'll train with the first team, maybe be up in the stands. Not actually, but maybe he'll attend the games. It's a really terrible situation. And I hope for him, because for the club, this is the right move. You know, you try and find a suitor abroad, so you're not playing against him in MLS. You get some of the benefits if you do trade him or do give him away and somebody buys him. So you're not fully missing out on those $6 to $9 million. If you were to miss out on those $6 to $9 million, it'd be tough. So a regular trade within MLS would have been probably the wrong move. Maybe better for Pellegrini, but from a club standpoint, it would have been the wrong move. And obviously, I want the best for the club, but I want the best for the player as well because I respect the human of Matthias Pellegrini, right? And my fingers are crossed that by July there are people and clubs that want to bring him in. Maybe he goes back to Argentina when that transfer window opens, or I don't know. He could have gone to Brazil. I doubt he wanted to. I'm sure he wanted to stay in South Florida for as long as possible. But with this being the case, with him not being able to play until 2022 on an MLS pitch, I mean, he should not go out and risk playing in third-tier division American football. He shouldn't. I think Paul Tenorio said it on ESPN that he doesn't think, sources have told him that Pellegrini is likely not to play with Fort Lauderdale CF. And that makes a lot of sense, right? Like I just said, why would you go out and risk it? Man. I do feel for the guy, and you know, I want the best for him. I want the best for the club. And this situation is just a mess in general. And it's something that the last regime, the last front office have left us with. And like I said, you take whatever it is on the chin, you do what you have to do, you get it done, and you move on. Because the 2021 season is still going to happen. Whether it was always going to be Pellegrini or now it's going to be Robbie Robinson playing on the left wing, the 2021 season is still going to happen. So you do what you got to do, and you move on. We can hope the best for Pellegrini. Maybe something gets figured out. I don't know. But there's going to be more to come for Inter Miami. And I'm talking about punishment for the Matuidi thing. And I'm going to get into that a little bit into the next segment for not too long. Inter Miami CF fans, if you're listening, make sure you join us for every single road game as we broadcast live from Dangerous Minds Brewing Company at 1901 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach. I will be there along with joined by Big O and Alex Dono. Enjoy the delicious food and incredible house drafts and giveaways. Inter Miami CF fans, your new home for every single road game is Dangerous Minds Brewing Company in Pompano. Follow them on Twitter at Dangerous Minds B and on Instagram at Dangerous Minds Brewing.
You're listening to Red Card Radio with Austin Robillard. Take Onside Radio your home for sports talk everywhere with a MyTuner Radio app. Find the app at onsideradio.com.
ADHD. It's the child who can't pay attention or sit still in school, right? The answer may be yes. Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, or ADHD, can be complicated and it can last a lifetime. Living with a condition can sometimes be a challenge. It may take years to accept a formal diagnosis, and it's not always easy to find the right treatment plan. Did you know that up to 75% of children and adolescents with ADHD have at least one additional mental health condition that also requires a comprehensive approach to treatment? ADHD guidelines were recently updated to reflect the need to screen for associated disorders. Be sure to talk with your child's doctor about proper screening and visit moretoadhd.com for additional information. That's moretoadhd.com. This message has been brought to you in partnership with Adhd, ACO, and CHAD.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Miami Dolphins fans, join us for OnsideRadio.com's NFL Draft Party at Sports Grill in Miami, 11481 Southwest 40th Street, Bird Road. Join Big O and Alex Dono for this two-night event starting on Thursday, April 29th at 7:30 p.m. and Friday, day 2 at 6:30. Drink and food specials, giveaways, and the best damn draft party in South Florida. Join us for a two-night event as OnsideRadio.com and Sports Grill on Bird Road bring you the best NFL draft party on the planet.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys! I love this song! I love these nachos. I love our kickball league! Ugh! I love this guy.
What's your name?
You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
With Make-A-Wish, the impossible becomes possible. A girl battling cancer can become a race car driver battling the course. The boy showing all the nurses his fire trucks can take the helm of a real one. Wishes can give kids with critical illnesses the strength to keep fighting, get better, and grow up.
Where there's a wish, there's a way.
Wishes need you. Visit Make-A-Wish at wish.org.
Welcome back to Red Card Radio. To reach out to Austin, dial 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Here's Austin Robillard.
Onside Radio continues to grow to make your life easy. You can now find your favorite sports stations by downloading the radio.net app. Download the free app and listen to your favorite OnsideRadio.com host or catch a great Inter-Miami CF game tomorrow. Go to your app store, download radio.net, and search Onside Radio, the home for the South Florida sports fan. Yep, tomorrow's the kickoff. LA Galaxy, 3 o'clock on ABC. Can't wait, man.
Are you excited?
Can't you tell? I am buzzing, dude.
Hey, man, listen.
This is nuts.
I swear to God, you're like a little kid hyped up on soda right now, man.
That's
you're
what
like
it
shaking
feels
her.
like.
I can hear it in your voice, dude.
They
got the right person for this job, you.
I appreciate you, man.
No problem, dude. No problem.
I mean, I love it. I don't know. This is my one true love, football, soccer.
The only thing
South
it's missing is you grabbing your fist together and screaming,
oh, that'll be on game day.
The game day?
That'll be on game day.
That's next week, isn't it?
What happened?
The game day?
Tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. Tomorrow.
3 o'clock.
Wow. So what's going on today?
Montreal and Toronto, because Montreal is stationed here because of Canada and their COVID restrictions. So.
Oh, that's the big buzz that's going on over here.
I mean, it's a true professional MLS game happening at 2 o'clock.
Can you believe that?
I cannot, and I'm sticking around.
I'm pretty sure you are. I'm pretty sure you are.
Oh, man. Yeah, but, I mean, MLS kicked off last night. A couple of crazy goals that happened, and it's a fun league, man. If you like soccer, it's a fun league. A lot of people hate it.
Listen, if you don't like soccer, I mean, if you come here today, I guarantee you'll change your mind. There's so much of a big buzz going on.
Yep.
It's like a big party out there, man.
Yeah, it is. And I don't think there's going to be fans.
There's people walking around. I don't know if they're going coming in or not, but it's a pretty big showing outside.
I'm a little confused as to what Montreal decided to do, because technically they have to rent out the stadium from Inter-Miami. So I'm confused. I hadn't seen anything on like Ticketmaster or anything, so I don't know if they're allowing fans. But
well, the reason I say that is because they allowed all the food trucks.
Yeah.
Did you smell it?
Okay.
Oh my God, I was starving.
I saw. They're lining up. I mean, concessions, the food trucks, everything.
Right.
So
it has to be with some type of a fan, and maybe specialized fans like how they did before, teachers and doctors and stuff like that. But I believe somebody's coming.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Well, I'll be here to find out, hopefully.
I'm pretty sure you will.
Let me get to the text line here. I got a text that came in. Quite a good one. I liked it. She said, just wanted to say that the rough start our team has endured since its inception, I'm still optimistic moving forward because Bex and company have quickly corrected the issues, and as a fan, I can see how much they care. I actually noticed that too with Jorge Mas. He really cares. Text continues to say, the latest Pellegrini fiasco, which I just wrapped up, is another black eye to the team's reputation, but with pretty much new front office headed by Henderson, I don't see how things could get much worse. The team can only go up from here. And I fully agree with that. I mean, we are working our way up, and with Henderson here, with the new front office, it seems like everything is cohesive in terms of, top to bottom, making decisions. It seems like they're getting it done the right way, and fixing all of the prior mistakes is obviously on the top of priority list, and they've got it done, and we're ready to go for tomorrow. And we're here, right? And like I just said last segment, like, You have to take it on the chin. You take it on the chin and you move on. thanks for sending in a text. Remember, it's 844-416-8123 if you want to send in a text. Or chat on YouTube. I'm watching on both, so if you want to send it in, you totally can. Now, I talked mostly about Pellegrini last segment. I want to talk about potential punishments for the Matuidi thing. Obviously playing with the 4 DPs is cheating outright. I mean, it just is. And something's going to happen. And I think the punishment does have to be pretty severe. I mean, you have to set a precedent among the league and be like, look, this cannot happen again. And maybe they make an example out of Miami. Would suck. But I think the worst thing that they could possibly do is take away points in 2021 on the table. And if they do that, then you're climbing even more of an uphill battle than last year. Starting off in the negatives wouldn't be great. But I think it'll be more of a roster kind of thing and salary and this. I don't know. But it'll be hard to do a lot now because it seems like with all the signings coming in, they're using up every ounce of eligible money, every ounce of eligible roster spots to bring in a good, deep team. And maybe, I don't know, is it too late for them to make a decision? What are they? I mean, if they take away, let's say, an international roster spot, remember, we have Kieran Gibbs and Nick Marshman coming in the summer. That would put us up to 9 international players. A team is granted 8 international spots when they're expanded into the league, and you can trade them and acquire them, as much as you please among different clubs in MLS. The only time we've had a transaction with a international roster spot was with Will Trapp when we traded for him from Columbus. We got rid of an international roster spot for Will Trapp, who's not even with the club anymore, and it put us down to 7, and that's where we're at. So, with only 7 international roster spots going into the summer, losing one in terms of punishment would make it a lot harder. Transactions would have definitely, I mean, they already do have to be made, but then you've got to even worry about it more. I talked a little bit about it on Twitter. Make sure you follow me, by the way. I've literally dedicated my whole entire account to Inter Miami. So, and soccer in general. At Austin Robillard. I have a lot of fun on there. I interact with everybody. But man, that's one scenario. They take away international roster. They'll probably also take away allocation money. They'll probably also fine the owners. I'm not sure exactly what they're going to do. It's scary to think about what they're going to do. It really is. I don't know exactly where they're going to be headed. Carrying 4 DPs is cheating, and we have, I don't know. We've got another hour and 15 minutes to talk. I don't want to get down too much in the next hour. We're going to have a lot more fun here talking about Phil Neville, the Galaxy game, the roster, who I think is going to be MVP, all that kind of stuff. But this is the real world, and there's going to be punishments, and I don't know what they're going to do. But cross your fingers and hope, please, that it's not a points deduction. This team doesn't need that. Like I said, I am expecting a playoff finish in the East. Don't know how far we'll go. I have to see where the team's at that time next fall or this fall. But there's talent here, and to be set back because of that, it would suck. And maybe even, I don't know. What if we just lost a under 22 player spot? Maybe that would help. What if they take away a DP after one of our contracts are up? I mean, the scenarios are endless. I mean, MLS can do basically anything they want to. I'm sure a lot of the other owners are not happy with how we got to how we did handle that. Having 4 DPs all the way through last season. I don't know how they... And the only thing that we're really enduring right now is losing Pellegrini. And let's be honest, after last season, that's not a big loss. That's our true punishment right now. Losing Pellegrini and loaning him to Fort Lauderdale, where he probably won't play. It's more of a punishment on Pellegrini than it is on the club. Because I'll tell you, as a prospect, I'm probably more excited about Edison Azcona than I am Matthias Pellegrini on the left wing. My head is spinning, to say the least. We'll get into it in a little bit. We're going to talk a lot more of the big stuff, the real season preview. We're going to dive into it in just a minute here on Red Card Radio. We're going to continue our 2021 Inter Miami season preview. Heat and NBA fans, catch Ira Winderman here exclusively at OnsideRadio.com with our Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat reports. Catch Ira throughout the week at OnsideRadio.com, and when news breaks, basketball fans know Onside Radio is the place where you get the insight that you need.
Take Onside Radio your home for sports talk everywhere with a MyTuner Radio app. Find the app at OnsideRadio.com.
You can't buy a best friend. You can love them, walk them, pet them, and care for them, whether they want you to or not. You can take a picture or 50. You can fly to the moon, travel the world, or just stay in bed. You can't buy a best friend like that, but you can adopt one. There are millions of pets waiting for a best friend just like you. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
A message to help keep you safe. If doctors told us today that we'd made a breakthrough on COVID-19, saving thousands of lives, we would rejoice. Finally, a good news day. We'd feel less afraid that our loved ones would be struck by the invisible enemy. We'd start to feel hope that we could live our lives again. Well, a mask does all that. We can help protect others by covering our noses and mouths, which is how the virus mainly spreads. Masks are a ticket to freedom, to be out in the world, to getting together, back to work, back to doing what we want. If doctors announced we could save lives today, we would grab that breakthrough with both hands. While we wait for a vaccine, grab the breakthrough that's already here. When we're out, it's masks on.
Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Howdy, stranger.
Didn't this used to be Radio Town?
Yes, sir. It was Miami Sports Radio Town one time.
Who in the hell are these cowboys I never saw?
We don't know who these people are, riding in from other towns. There used to be a host in every one of these saloons, trying to talk about local matters, sports.
That ain't good, stranger. Could you tell me how this happened?
Well, it started when one corporation bought another, and they got rid of the good management and brought in a bunch of bumbling idiots and started firing all the local ranchers and replacing them one by one with these strangers from out of town.
I've heard that story before. Static and tumbleweeds, I'm moving on.
South Florida's choice for sports talk. OnsideRadio.com.
Hello, Inter Miami CF fans. Download the Drink AR app and play inside a first-of-its-kind virtual soccer stadium, hosted by Bodega Trevento and Inter Miami CF, and celebrate your passion for soccer from the comfort of your own home. Find the download links on our Instagram account at Treventus and get our wines delivered straight to your home with a discount for all Inter Miami CF fans. Discover Trevento, a shared passion.
These are unprecedented times, challenging how the YMCA works to strengthen community as we have for nearly 170 years. But we've always found ways to help people and communities in times of crisis. Right now, Ys across the country are providing emergency childcare, shelter, food programs, and outreach to seniors. But we can't do it alone. Whether you're connected to the Y or have a fond Y memory, we need you to stay with us. Reach out to your local Y today and stay with us for a better us.
Welcome back to Red Card Radio. To reach out to Austin, send a text. The text line is 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Austin Robillard.
All right. And we're here. I got a couple minutes. I just want to talk about MLS as a whole. It's kicked off yesterday with two pretty good games. Well, one game better than the other. Houston beat San Jose 2-1, and Chris Wondolowski missed an absolute sitter. Man, we've seen it before with the U.S. men's national team. What the hell happened? How do you miss that? Could have tied the game late. It didn't happen. But I want to say something, too, about this Houston team and a player that I really, really rate. And it's Joe Corona. Was a free agent, and it was somebody who I wanted Inter Miami to sign in the midfield. They didn't, obviously. He's on Houston. But what was interesting is that Austin FC selected him in the expansion draft, knowing he was a free agent, knowing that selecting him doesn't do anything other than give you the potential to give him more money than the next club. And they still took him, thinking that they were going to be able to get him. It didn't happen. And then yesterday, playing for Houston, puts in a man-of-the-match performance. His assist was magnificent. I believe it was an outside-the-foot pass, and it was, whew! It was pretty. Now, I don't think we need Joe Corona, obviously, with Matuidi and now Gregore and Pizarro in that midfield three. We'll trust, I guess, Victor Ulloa and Jay Chapman off the bench. Like I said, next segment, we're getting into the roster. Trust me, we're getting to the roster, and we're going to talk about this team. But it was a good game. Very nice goals scored yesterday as well. Holy crap. It was in the Seattle game. MLS just produces bangers of goals. João Paulo, I don't know how he did this, but a cross came in from the top of the box. It gets headed out, and he's standing just at the top of the half circle. And I don't know if you're on YouTube, I would stand up and do this, but the ball gets headed out, and he kind of lets it come to his feet. He kicks it up with his inner foot, doesn't ever let it hit the ground, and then volleys it second time, and hits the back of the freaking net. It was unbelievable. I mean, it's already a goal of the season candidate. Now, MLS is going to produce more great goals, but of the 4 goals they score, oh my God, I'm watching it right now. Oh, it was nuts. What a goal. But MLS is going to produce more and more great goals, and that's why I love the league, man. I'm going to get to this YouTube comment here. Realistically, do you see the team in the top 6 in the East are lagging behind around 10th to 12th place like many experts are predicting? Steve, I want to tell you this. When you look at the roster last year and you look at the roster this year, do you or do you not see improvements? Because I see a ton. I see a ton of improvements than last year. Do you believe in Diego Alonso, or do you not believe in Phil Neville? This team has gotten miles better, and I think that these MLS experts who are predicting these 10th to 12th in the East, they're too high on other teams, or they're either way too low on us. I think, I'm telling you, man, here's the thing. It'll be one of those, like, post-LeBron Miami Heat teams that finish, 8th, 7th, 6th in the East. Here it'll be 7th, 6th, 5th. We'll maybe hang around 8 for a while, 8 or 9. But I think that there's real potential for them to finish in a decent spot in the East and make a playoff push. I'm going to say 5th or 6th in the East. I have that much faith in them. 5th or 6th. Maybe 7th. But it'll be bottom half of the playoff teams. I'm not expecting this 10th through 12th nonsense. I called them out for it on my show a couple days ago, or a couple weeks ago. Man, I didn't understand that. And I put it out on my Twitter too. So at the end of the season, when we finish in the playoffs, I have the receipt right there. I'm going to pull it back up. Call out all of those MLS writers. We'll be all right, man. There's just so much to look forward to, and I'm gonna tell you everything to look forward to, and I'm gonna break down position by position coming up in this hour. What Phil Neville's gonna do, who's gonna have the biggest impact. Just get ready for it. The real 2021 season preview kicks off in the second hour here on Red Card Radio, and remember that you're listening to the only locally owned sports station in South Florida. Yeah, that's right. It's OnsideRadio.com.
Take Onside Radio your home for sports talk everywhere with a MyTuner Radio app. Find the app at OnsideRadio.com.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Duncan to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
For over 20 years, Mr. Glass has been committed to the safety and satisfaction of our clients. Our products are the culmination of innovative engineering, aesthetic appeal, and the highest levels of quality. Through our legacy, Mr. Glass strives to impart the true meaning of quality, service, and sustainability to new generations. Reputation, experience, and trust is why clients choose Mr. Glass. Live the future now. Locate a dealer near you today.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
He was the heart of your family, and he taught you our history. He helped you fix your first flat. He was the best backyard DJ around, and every time he'd tell a story, he'd own the room. But now more than ever, he may feel alone. Today, older adults and their loved ones are struggling to connect, in a time when connection has never been more important. But there is something we can do. Embrace our older loved ones through StoryCorps Connect. With StoryCorps Connect, you can honor seniors remotely with an interview about their life. Every interview will be archived at the Library of Congress, becoming part of American history, so that years from now, future generations can listen in.
All right, Grandpa, what's one piece of advice you have for me?
Just 3 words, sweetheart. Live with courage. The man that had the best stories still has plenty of stories to tell. So connect virtually and share the conversation of a lifetime at storycorpsconnect.org/AARP. Connect, honor, share. StoryCorps Connect. A message from AARP, StoryCorps, and the Ad Council.
AM 1260 WLEN.
We're live and local. Honey, are we really?
Just read what they wrote.
We're the best sports station for Miami.
What kind of programming genius does it take to flip a switch and put it on an ESPN satellite? We're your home for all local sports. AM 1260 WLE. Honey, would you please bring my laxative in here?
Sure, honey.
Ain't it awful?
South Florida's choice for sports talk. OnsideRadio.com.
Riddle me
this. With all this sizzling meat and crunchy veggies nestled between toasty flatbread, who should get credit for Papa John's new papadilla? The person who invented pizza or the person who invented folding? Well, whoever it is, a tip of the tongue hat to you, sir or madam. Get a new papadilla, 4 flavors, just $6 each. Better ingredients, better pizza, better than a sandwich. Papa John's.
Now that it's springtime, it's only getting hotter here in South Florida. Make sure your AC in your home or business is running smoothly by investing in a preventative maintenance plan from M&S Air Conditioning. And M&S is a Mitsubishi Diamond Elite contractor. When you purchase a new Mitsubishi electric mini split system, you'll get a 12-year warranty. Or install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that captures and destroys biological contaminants to improve air quality. M&S Air Conditioning have been providing prompt, honest, and reliable service for over 30 years. Schedule service or call to get more info on our preventative maintenance plans. Call 954-421-3680 or visit ac-florida.com.
Hey everybody, it's Good Greek Moving and Storage, and for over 2 decades, they've been entrusted to handle all of your moving and storage needs. And now, Good Greek is the official mover of Inter Miami CF. And if Inter Miami trusts the Good Greek, you should too. For the best move ever, whether it's across town or across the country, go to GreekMoving.com. That's GreekMoving.com for Good Greek Moving and Storage, the official movers of your Inter Miami CF.
Hey, it's Big O for EJD Construction, your custom home builder, additions and home remodeling. Our lives have changed. We're making our homes more of an oasis. Call the right place. Call the right people. Eric at EJD Construction for over 16 years. A-rated member of Angie's List in the Better Business Bureau. 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Welcome back to Red Card Radio. To reach out to Austin, dial 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Here's Austin Robillard.
All right, in hour number 2 of Red Card Radio, the Inter Miami CF season preview special. It's time to get into the fun stuff. It's time to get into the Phil Nevilles. It's time to get into the roster. And who do we want to start with? Do we want to start with the roster? Do we want to start with Phil Neville? I think I'm going to kick it off with Phil Neville here. And by the way, make sure you send in your text 844-416-8123. I'll be responding whenever I get the chance. In our third segment here in this hour, we're going to have Achilles from Lemon City Live joining us to wrap up this season preview. I'm going to get his thoughts. Can't wait to talk to him. Knows his South Florida football very, very well. So we'll get into that. But let's start with Phil Neville. The signing was very criticized. I said that in the first hour. The signing was criticized, but let me tell you, it obviously can't get much worse than his, predecessor, I think. The man who came before him, Diego Alonso. Oh my gosh. 4-2-3-1 some games, 5 at the back some games. Pellegrini playing attacking mid. Rodolfo Pizarro out wide, outstretched wings. The wingbacks almost never leaving the lines. Lewis Morgan barely getting on the ball unless it was down in the corner of the field, whipping in crosses. I don't think we're going to see any of that this year. You're not going to see any inconsistencies within the lineup and then the tactics. I think Phil Neville knows what he wants to do. He's going to be clear in his instructions. Players have already said that. He has come across as a guy who knows what he wants to do, how he wants to approach games, and it seems that there is a mutual understanding between him and the players on how they want to get it done. I don't think that that's something they had last season, but we finally have it this season. Let me give you a little bit of insight on what I think that's going to be. For a while, everybody's been saying a 4-3-3, a 4-3-3 or variation thereof, and I think that that's 100% right. You'll see 3 midfielders, you'll see a back 4, and you'll see 3 forwards, okay? A left wing, a right wing, a striker. Your midfielders, because of the personnel, it seems like you'll have a somewhat of a number 10. That's going to be Pizarro. You'll have a number 8 or a box-to-box and Matuidi. And then you'll have Gregore, who's really going to be the cleanup man and protecting the back line. And I think that that's a really good midfield tandem. And I really think that that's going to be one of the most, it'll be the most important part of this team. That's the spine. That's the guys that have to make things happen. They have to connect the play from the back. They have to be consistent in the press with the front. They got to protect the back line. Those 3 guys have a lot of work cut out for them in this Neville style of play. And another set of players who have the work cut out for him are guys who he believes should be on the ball. The Pizarros, the Lewis Morgans, the guys with quality. Last year, Lewis Morgan was played out wide so much. And he still had more of an impact than anybody else on this roster. And he was literally instructed just to get down the line and whip in a ball with his right foot. When Lewis Morgan is probably one of the most two-footed players in football. I'm saying on par with Ousmane Dembele. I don't think Lewis Morgan knows if he's right or left-footed, okay? Certainly his mom doesn't. I was saying it off the air to David Dwork. His mom is very active in the Inter Miami CF fan club on Facebook. It's hilarious. But the thing about her is she interacts and she tells you things. And she told me specifically that growing up, Lewis Morgan played on the left. He used his left foot a lot. He can use his left. He can use his right. I remember when his FIFA card was released, he had 5-star weak foot, and she mentioned something about that. The guy needs to be on the ball, and I screamed for it so much last year that him and Pizarro needed to be on the ball more. I go through my tweets every now and then from the past season. And I look at what I was saying about players at certain times, and it's hilarious because you're screaming the same thing over and over again, and it never got fixed. And I don't think we're going to really run into that. Phil Neville knows what he wants to do. And with the wide players, I'm going to stick to the right here. It's going to be Kelvin Leerdam and Lewis Morgan on that right side. And Leerdam's going to do a lot of overlapping, I think. You'll see a lot of interplay between those 2 guys. He'll have to be very... what's the word I'm looking for? I can't even think of it. But, discipline. There we go. Leerdam's going to have to be very disciplined with his overlaps, making sure he doesn't get cut out, doesn't leave too much space behind him, doesn't turn into a Trent Alexander-Arnold. Because he's really good defensively, but I know that, here's the thing. Phil Neville coached the England women's national team, who had one of the best players in the world in Lucy Bronze. One of the top women's players to play the game recently. Phil Neville asked a lot of her. And I think he'll do the same with Leerdam and Jovan Jones, knowing their attacking quality and also knowing their defensive quality. And I think that they're both pretty decent passers, and he's going to utilize these wings in ways that maybe they didn't do so much at Seattle. The passing is going to have to be good because there's going to be a lot of times now where Lewis Morgan's going to be getting inside, maybe trying to get closer to Pizarro, maybe getting in behind Iguain from times. And then Leerdam's job is to cover up and down. You'll have Gregore maybe on the right side of the midfield too. I believe Matuidi will probably play on the left side of the midfield just because, we know what he can do with his left foot and things like that. But the wingbacks are going to have a lot of work to do. And Phil Neville himself and Gary Neville himself, the brothers there, being, a a wingback family, I guess, if you want to call it. They both played that position. They might be highly critical of the guys they have. And Nealis is gone for a reason. Leardom and Jovan Jones and Kieran Gibbs are being brought in for a reason. Patrick Seagrass was loaned out for a reason. I trust Phil Neville knows what he wants to do with his wingbacks. And it was a position that we really, really struggled with last season. Ben Sweat was never the guy. Was it Figal? Was it Nealis? Who was the right back? I don't know, but it didn't work. And I am obviously very critical of the Nealis trade. I think he has, whatever. I won't get into that. But Leardom being here is good. Figal can obviously play the position. I think Neville, if he needs to, would play him there. Shawcross can be that cover-up center back. But Phil Neville wants to retain the ball, and that's something you have to think about. Phil Neville wants to control the possession. He wants to control the tempo of the game. And when you lose it, you better be on your horse to go and get it back. You could see a high defensive line. You could see high pressure. But on the ball, the passing's got to be quality in order to execute what Phil Neville wants to do. Keep his playmakers on the ball, create chances, let players get in behind. That's exactly why Robbie Robinson's moving out onto the wing. We know that he is prolific enough to get in behind, but they've got to get him the ball in those spaces. He didn't do that as a number 9 last year before Iguain came, and now him being out on the wing without Pellegrini, I mean, that's Robbie Robinson's position now, and I've been saying this since he was drafted. Robbie Robinson knows how to play as a number 7. He knows how to play as a winger. I've said it time. That Clemson front three was the best in the country. It's probably one of the best attacking threes that NCAA soccer has seen. They were that good. And yes, Robbie Robinson was looked at as a 9, but going back to his tape, he played a lot on the left. He played a lot on the right. Mostly on the left in that striker, but when I look at this, I think of Carlos Vela. And, he starts the game as a right winger in the lineup. But if you remember that game in LA last year, I put out a piece for 5 Reasons Sports just minutes before the game in my preview, and I was saying, Vela has the ability to move in and out. He's not just going to stay on the right wing. He's going to move in and out. And in a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3, not that Higuain is one of those interchangeable guys. I think he'll stay more central, but Lewis Morgan and Robbie Robinson are going to be able to move in and out. Kind of like this. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see what I'm saying. Like, if they come in, come out, get on the ball. Robbie Robinson, find the spaces. Let your midfielders give you the ball. Let Pizarro find the pass as we retain the possession and control the tempo of the game. That's what we're going to see from Inter Miami CF. That's what Phil Neville's going to want to do. I'm going to get more into the players and what I expect from each and every one of them. My projected starting lineup for day 1 coming up here in the next segment. But Phil Neville, I trust the guy. I really did think I trusted Alonso. So hopefully, if Phil Neville lets me down, my trust issues are going to be in a bad spot. Ball retention, possession, high press, intensity. That's another one. Intensity. I know those training sessions have not been easy on the players. Before we go to break, Steve, I think Higuain is going to be 10 or 11 goals this season. I don't know about 12. 12 is probably a really good number. I was thinking 10, and I was going to be happy with 10. But we'll see. After the first couple games, I'll let you know because I want to see how they give him the ball. Is it going to be crossing? Is it going to be on his foot at the top of the box? I don't know what it's going to be like, but that's going to alter my prediction. I'm going to say 10 or 11 goals. I don't know about 12. I'm fine. You know what? Yeah, it'll be 12 goals. I don't know about over-under. I'm going to say hit the line 12 goals. There you go. Every day at Onside Radio, our hosts sit down at the round table to tackle the most important local or national sports headlines. The round table is podcasted daily. Search Onside Radio on all platforms. Subscribe, rate, and review to listen to all kinds of station segments. OnsideRadio.com is the home for South Florida sports.
You're listening to the home of Inter Miami CF.
His strike is a decent one. It's fired into the top right corner. Gonzalo Iguain opens his account for Inter Miami.
OnsideRadio.com, where the passion for La Rosa Negra runs deep.
Hey, it's Big O for EJD Construction, your custom home builder, additions and home remodeling. Our lives have changed. We're making our homes more of an oasis. Call the right place. Call the right people. Eric at EJD Construction for over 16 years. A-rated member of Angie's List in the Better Business Bureau. 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
I'm 54, so basically, it's too late to start saving for retirement, right?
Not right. Starting to save, even in your 50s, can really make a difference.
Well, right now, saving seems hard to wrap my head around. Plus, with the way this year's been going...
Hey, listen, it's okay. You still got this. Just go to aceyourretirement.org. It's an online tool from AARP that can help you get your retirement savings on track no matter your age. It's free and only takes about 3 minutes.
I like 3 minutes.
Yeah, at aceyourretirement.org, you'll chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach. Just answer a few questions and you'll get a personalized plan and tips to help boost your retirement savings. Tips that are easy to understand and tailored to your lifestyle.
I like that too.
Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back. Just head to aceyourretirement.org and make your plan to start saving for retirement.
Thanks.
That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
Now that it's springtime, it's only getting hotter here in South Florida. Make sure your AC in your home or business is running smoothly by investing in a preventative maintenance plan from M&S Air Conditioning. And M&S is a Mitsubishi Diamond Elite contractor. When you purchase a new Mitsubishi electric mini split system, you'll get a 12-year warranty. Or install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that captures and destroys biological contaminants to improve air quality. M&S Air Conditioning have been providing prompt, honest, and reliable service for over 30 years. Schedule service or call to get more info on our preventative maintenance plans. Call 954-421-3680 or visit ac-florida.com.
OnsideRadio.com knows gamers need a home.
Can you dig it?
That's why for the next 60 seconds,
Can you count, suckers?
here's your Onside Radio E-Report with Kai Chen Chisholm.
Evil Geniuses, a gaming organization based in North America, has announced that they will partner with cryptocurrency company Coinbase. Crypto Bro is coming to gaming, and now Coinbase will be a shirt sponsor on the Evil Geniuses shirts for their games and teams in CSGO and Dota 2, as well as its FGC roster. The CEO of Evil Geniuses, Nicole LaPointe Jameson, said, "These collaborations allow us to invest back into our community in a meaningful way. By welcoming Coinbase to the Evil Geniuses family, we're giving our fans access to the largest cryptocurrency exchange in North America and the informative and educational tool they'll need to stay competitive in their ever-evolving global marketplace. This is huge, as Coinbase did announce its first venture into esports when they partnered with Blast Premier. Now they will be having their shirt sponsorship with Evil Geniuses."
Stay in touch in the world of gaming with the Onside Radio E-Report. The card is out. The show is on. Soccer fans. Red Card Radio with Austin Robillard is on. To reach out to Austin, dial 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. The text line is 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Lining up for that pressure kick, here's your host, Austin Robillard, with Red Card Radio.
All right, and we're back now after talking so much about Phil Neville and what he wants to do. But who's he going to do it with? Who's he going to do it with on day one, tomorrow at 3 o'clock at Drive Pink Stadium against LA Galaxy? Well, I'm here to tell you now that I have a projected starting lineup, and I think I know who's going to go where. I don't know for sure if this is what's going to happen. I don't know for sure if I'm 100% right, but I've got a pretty good idea. And it's going to change throughout the year, of course. Starting lineups always do. But if it was Phil Neville's decision, I think that this is the lineup he would go with from every single week until, maybe Kieran Gibbs and Nick Marsman come in. So here we go. John McCarthy is the number one keeper on the roster at the moment. I don't think Callender or Castanera are up to his level. Obviously, he has the real MLS experience. He saved our asses against Orlando City last year. John McCarthy's the guy. John McCarthy's got a lot of pressure on him, by the way. John, if you're listening, remember, every shutout that you keep this season is $100,000 donated by AutoNation to cancer research. No pressure. No pressure. At the back, I think before Kieran Gibbs gets here, you're going to see Jovan Jones at left back, LGP and Figal as the center back tandem, and Kelvin Leardom, at the right. I know I'm going to get a lot. I mean, people are going to talk about Shawcross, and, obviously he's not fit just yet. And I just got a notification that Hansi Flick is going to leave Bayern. Wow. Okay. Sorry. Shawcross is not 100% fit. I don't think that he had enough time yet. And if he does get fit, then maybe, sure, he starts over Figal. But if Figal has a really good start to the year, I don't see why you break LGP and Figal up just to bring in this Premier League veteran. I think that these two guys at the primes of their careers need to be the center back duo. Shawcross is really good cover. But if these guys are healthy, 100%, that's what it needs to be. And I think it's what we'll see on Sunday. Just ahead of them in the midfield, I was saying it, I think Grigore will play in front of LGP and Figal as, a protector of the back line. He's going to boss the midfield, man. He's going to win balls. He's going to put in tackles. He's going to make those short passes, those connections in order to get the ball played out from the back to the front line. He's going to be the real connector of this team. And he's going to be played alongside Blaise Matuidi, who also has to be a part of this connecting role. I don't think Matuidi will have to do as much defensively with Grigore coming in. Grigore is quite the step up from Victor Ulloa and Will Trapp. And we saw last year when Diego Alonso tried to drop in Ulloa and Trapp as like a third center back at times, and I freaking hated it. It was awful, and Matuidi was doing so much. It had to have been tiring, and it was. It was evident. By the end of the season in the Nashville game, Matuidi was caught fully lacking, and that's why I think, who was it? Dix Miscarud or whoever it was. I don't remember who scored for whatever the Nashville player's name was who scored, where Matuidi looked like he was just jogging back, didn't really care. Matuidi's going to have help, finally. And God forbid any other injury happens. If Ulloa is asked to come in, then we're going to see more of the same midfield I think we had last season. And that's why the Grigore signing was so big. And that's why I think the Grigore signing is one of the biggest in MLS. This guy's got quality beyond belief. He's in season form. He just finished a season in the Brazilian Serie A for Bahia. He's like 28 or something. Look, this guy's going to boss the midfield. Didn't have that boss last year. Matuidi being box to box is good. I like his attacking quality or the potential of it. We saw it under Deschamps in the World Cup. I think Matuidi can get this done with Grigori alongside him and be a really good midfielder and live up to the designated player status. And just in front of them is Rodolfo Pizarro. And this is an interesting one, obviously, because Rodolfo Pizarro is a big-name player, takes up another DP role, didn't have the greatest year last year, but you know he has the quality. And he has a lot to prove for himself this year, especially if he wants to get into the Mexican team for the World Cup. There's a lot more riding on Pizarro than just Inter Miami. At this stage in his career, he wants to be playing for his national team. I know that for sure. And I want him to. Like, that's obviously a huge, huge goal. So he's got to step it up this year. And with the people that are around him, with the offseason that we've had, with the style of manager we have that understands that he is a creative playmaker and needs to be on the ball, it'll benefit him. And we're going to see more out of Pizarro this year than we did last year. I'm excited to see what he has to offer. Because I know he's not a true traditional number 10. For Mexico, for El Tri, he plays out wide. Kind of played as a number 8 with Chivas. But I want to see what he can do in this number 10 role. You know, his buddy Diego Alonso, he's played at multiple clubs with, is gone now. He's freed of Diego Alonso. In a new style, with a new manager, what can Rodolfo do? And I have high expectations, and I think he's going to meet some of those. Especially with the cover and quality behind him, and then especially with the cover ahead of him and the quality ahead of him. And let's get into that. We'll start off with Gonzalo Iguain, the last DP on this roster. 1 goal last season. That's it, just 1. It's not enough. I just talked with Steve from the YouTube comments. I'm thinking 12 is a pretty good number. You just got to get it done. But we have to give him service. You have to give him service. That's going to be Pizarro's job. It's also going to be Lewis Morgan's job. 5 goals, 5 assists last year, I think. Top scorer, maybe top assister as well. MVP, of course. He's going to be on the ball a lot more in better positions. Not just down on the corner of the box, whipping in crosses. He's going to be doing a lot more than that. He's going to be central. He's going to be playing passes. He'll be seeing these overlaps from Leerdam. He'll be sometimes in behind Iguain. Maybe taking on defenders one-on-one, getting into good areas, and hopefully finding his counterpart on the other side, Robbie Robinson, who this is a good role for him. I want Robbie to shine this year. I have belief in him. He's talented. He was by far the best player in college soccer. That's why he was drafted. And yes, I know we messed up not selecting DK. I get it. But Robbie's still got talent. And Phil Neville is going to reinvent this man, and he could become a traditional style winger who can get into good spaces, beat defenders with his pace. He's got to be a little bit more physical, but he's got to work also on his technical ability. That's one thing that I want to see improved from last year to this. His technical ability on the ball, his first touch mostly. Let's see if it can get better. So there it is. Jovan Jones, LGP, Figal, Leerdam, McCarthy in goal, Matuidi, Grigori, Pizarro, Robinson, Iguain, and Morgan. That's who I think is going to start. That means on the bench, you have Dylan Castanera and Drake Callender. Summertime, you'll have Nick Marsman come. And if Nick Marsman comes, he'll be the starter. You have Ryan Shawcross on the bench. You have Christian McCoon on the bench. I think Shawcross, I know Shawcross is definitely the number 3 center back. McCoon's a little bit down there. Mabika, we're still waiting on an official contract announcement. I know they're trying to get it done. And then Kieran Gibbs is coming in the summer. We loaned out Patrick Seagrass to USL to Indy 11, which I think will be good. I know Indy 11 has one of the best left backs in USL, so maybe not get as much playtime as we want. But if he does, that'll be good, because I don't think he'll be playing here with Kieran Gibbs and Jovan Jones in front of him. Ian Frey out for the season, unfortunate. Josh Penn, Victor Ulloa, Jay Chapman, Federico Iguain, Breck Shea, Azcona, and Acosta. Acosta and Azcona are exciting prospects. They played a little bit for Fort Lauderdale CF. Acosta, really good player. Azcona can step it up a little bit. That Fort Lauderdale CF performance was not good, but I know that he had a good performance in the scrimmage. Josh Penn, I don't know if he'll get a lot of play time after being drafted. I mean, the wingers here, unless Robbie Robinson has something happen, I think Josh Penn is that instant replacement. And then obviously Ulloa and Chapman are going to be the guys who cover Matuidi and Grigore if they go down. You still have Carranza there too. He's still a young prospect with potential. He'll be behind Iguain on the depth chart. And also Felipe Valencia, the last youngster. And also yesterday there was a signing actually. Sammy Gadiri signed for the first team after training with the first team for so long. I saw him here last Friday training with the first team. I mistaked him for Enzo Zidane. Sammy Gadiri signs for for Inter Miami CF from Fort Lauderdale CF. It'll be exciting to see if he ever gets any minutes, but it's a prospect that I and Alex Windley, I mean, he's a good player. And it just adds to the depth, and it adds to this quote-unquote culture that Beckham and Moss are trying to create here. Bringing up the young guys into the first team. That's the system you want in a club. So let's get this done. That's the roster. That's who I think is going to start and what I expect from those starters. And coming up now, we're going to be talking with, or in next segment, Achilles from Lemon City Live. Remember to start your morning every single day at 8 a.m. with Toasted Sports. Toast covers all the local sports stories while providing some great Miami Hurricanes insight. Download, subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. It's Toasted Sports, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. only at OnsideRadio.com.
You're listening to Red Card Radio with Austin Robillard. Take Onside Radio your home for sports talk everywhere with a MyTuner Radio app. Find the app at OnsideRadio.com.
I'm Ryan Seacrest. First responders are people who stand for a greater purpose. They will be there for you when nobody else is, to help you, your family, your community. This is their selfless promise. This is their sworn duty, to protect, to serve, to help. They put themselves in harm's way for us. They come to the rescue at times when we need them most. First responders are making enormous personal sacrifices to keep showing up for us and fighting the good fight. Nearly 70% of all firefighters are volunteers. That means when they get injured or quarantined, they may not have a way to pay their rent or keep their family safe and fed. No matter who you are or where you live, when you call 911 and ask for help, first responders show up. Now, let's show up for the people who show up for us every day and every night.
Go to firstrcf.org and make a difference today.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Duncan to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
Inter Miami CF fans, Onside Radio is the place to guide you through the 2021 season. Go to our website at OnsideRadio.com and download any of our apps to listen to your favorite team. OnsideRadio.com is your home for La Rosa Negra.
He has an overbite that makes him look like a cartoon character, a slightly crooked eye, and an uncommonly wrinkly neck. In the right light, he can look a little like a garden gnome, and he'll wear a bow tie just because. Sure, you might call him a little quirky, but that's exactly what makes him so perfect. Tuna is a 3-year-old Chihuahua Dachshund mix with more than 700,000 followers on Instagram, and it all started because he was adopted. You can't buy a best friend like Tuna, but you can adopt one. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
Welcome back to Red Card Radio. To reach out to Austin, send a text. The text line is 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Austin Robillard.
All right, and we're back wrapping up the last segment here of our season preview. Just broke down Phil Neville, just broke down the roster, and then coming up later we'll be doing some crosstalk with the Marlins guys, Alex Adhd and Christian Chase. But for right now, I've got a very, very special guest joining me. Achilles from Lemon City Live is joining. You can follow him on Twitter at AchillesXC2. And I'm excited to talk to you because I know you're a wonderful South Florida sports fan, especially a soccer fan. And it's been a while since we got to speak in this kind of media. How you doing, man? He hung up. Okay, well, we're going to try and get him back on, I assume. He's not here. We're going to figure this out. But like I said, Achilles for Lemon City Live does a really good job covering all of South Florida sports. You can go check them out on their YouTube at Lemon City Live. And I think Achilles has some time with Philadelphia Union and the second team under his belt. He knows his soccer, and I know he's passionate about it just as I am. I met him when we covered the U.S. El Salvador game last year sometime. So I think he's back online. Achilles, are you there?
I am. Sorry about that.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I was just talking you up while you were gone. I was making sure everybody knew how informed and well versed you were in the sports world. How you doing, man? Are you excited for this game tomorrow and for this season ahead?
Yeah, they got the full off season and made tons of moves. So yeah, man, I'm definitely excited. I was excited last year too, but year two, and it's almost like year one where it's almost all new people. So I'm definitely excited to see it on the field.
I was going to say, I've said that. It kind of feels like a rerun at our inaugural year. Diego Alonso, and now Paul McDonough's gone. And, there's so many roster changes and front office moves. What do you think is going to be the most, or what's the most impactful change that you think this club has made? And what's really going to show out on the field and in the standings this season that didn't show last season?
For me, it has to be all the attacking talent. They've all been together for a long time now. It's not like every other month they're dropping a new piece in there. And on paper, that's as good of a, front, whatever it ends up being, 6, 7 in the league on paper. And it seems like Iguain is in a better place. Even when he came in last year, you could tell, in his opening press conference, he was kind of just not into it for whatever reason. But it seems like he's into it, which is going to be super important. You get another year with Morgan, you get another year with Pizarro, you get another year with Matuidi, and again, that 4 is as good as you can get on paper. And if things have connected well during the off season, man, then we should see tons of goals where that was kind of a struggle last year.
What is your faith level in Phil Neville? I mean, do you trust him more than you trusted Alonso? I don't know what your thoughts were on Alonso. I mean, afterwards, looking back, it was atrocious. But looking at it now, I mean, are we too hyped about Neville? Do we have too much trust in him? Where do you stand on that? And how do you feel about Neville and what he's going to do with this roster?
Listen, when they brought him in, I was tepid at best. He doesn't really have a ton of experience, but maybe he's more, instead of a tactics guy, he's a player guy. And when you have a team full of superstars, you look at like somewhere like in the NBA, all these big teams, especially in the last like 10 years, it's like, who was the coach of, this team? Either you had, Steve Kerr, who had no experience going into it. You got someone like Ty Lue, who was just a player and could relate. And now with the Nets, you have Steve Nash, who, again, wasn't really a coach and is more of a player's guy. And after that last press conference, it seems all the players like him. And if more than anything, if he can keep those guys happy, they have the talent to, do stuff. So at the end of the day, if that's what it ends up being, where he's just a great manager of the actual players themselves, and he can just put them in the best position to do their thing, I don't think you can ask for more than that.
Who was your favorite player to watch last season, and who do you have the highest expectations for going into this season?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was definitely Lewis Morgan, man. The guy was unbelievable. Just, out there like MLS Kevin De Bruyne, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just firing amazing passes all over the place. Any goal that they did have, maybe he didn't have the assist, but he had the hockey assist, you know what I mean? He showed great speed. Like, the guy was unbelievable last year, especially when all the other guys, either struggled or were taking time to get going. Every night you knew he was going to go out there and do something pretty awesome. So he was my guy. And honestly, this year, like I said, it seems that Iguain's in a better place, man. And if you get even 40% of the guy who has the all-time record for goals scored in Serie A, MLS is not going to be able to handle that guy. So hopefully now, he got, it was a weird season last year. Get that off your back, get out there and start doing what he do. So for me this year, as Iguain, I have the most expectations for.
Yeah, if we are able to provide Higuain service, I think, he can cause a world of trouble for MLS defenses. And I had a comment here on YouTube, over under 12 goals for Higuain this season. I said, give me the first couple games to see how we're going to provide him service, but I think 12 is a pretty good number that I'd be happy with. Are you over or under 12 goals, and why?
If I was a betting man, I would say over. Again, okay. He has way too much talent to score one goal in half the season that he played last year. Again, everyone is together. It seems everyone's, even if it's technically a new system, at least it's the same guys. So it's a little bit easier for you to learn a new system. And again, like you said, he just has too much talent. There's no reason. Even last year, like I said, last year it was weird, whatever, fine. And when he wasn't scoring goals, he was still a part of the attack and he was helping other people. But hopefully now this year, everyone's in place and the focus is get him in the best spot possible, because that's the easiest way you're going to score a goal.
And now I also wanted to ask you too, Inter Miami have made a ton of off-season signings. A ton. And
yeah.
It was obviously needed, because I don't think the roster was up to par of what it should have been last year. With the coaching change, you want to bring in his kind of style guys. What off-season signing do you think is going to make the biggest impact, and why?
For me, it's Gregor, right? That's how you pronounce it?
I've been saying Gregore, but I don't know if it's Gregor or Gregory. I'm not totally sure.
I guess we'll find out tomorrow when we're on the broadcast.
Yeah.
But honestly, me and you have spoke about this, and we thought more like, listen, the defense was obviously needed upgrading, but at the end of the day, me and you both said we need a guy who is going to be in the midfield, provide cover, and let Matuidi do what he does. And it seems that they found that guy. He's young. He's shown that he's a physical presence. He played in a good league in Brazil. So if he is even, again, if he can reach the level of expectation that he has coming in, it's going to unlock a lot. Like I said, it's going to provide cover for the guys in the back, and it's going to let Matuidi push up forward and use, his World Cup winning skills to add to the attack with all the other world-class talents already up there. So for me, it's not even like all the defensive signings are fine, and we have a ton of depth now where there wasn't really any last year. And we'll just keep plug and play until we find the right combination. But having someone like that in the middle can be a game changer. And you can see with a team like Philadelphia last year when they brought in Jose Martinez, who I think came into the league with less hype, and he provided just that, a rock in the middle so all the other guys can get up forward, and they ended up winning a Supporters Shield.
I think, Gregore is a really good answer there. And I think, honestly, the signing has gone a lot more under the radar than I would have expected. I honestly think that this is one of the best signings MLS has had this offseason, and I totally agree. He is our best offseason signing. He will make the biggest impact. All right, so let's get to predictions here then. Tomorrow, LA Galaxy, Drive Pink Stadium, 3 o'clock. Is Chicharito scoring on us, and how many times are we scoring? Are we winning this? Are we coming out with 3 points, Achilles?
I have to believe so. It's going to be, this is such a huge moment for this club because they didn't get this moment last year. The few fans that are going to be in there are going to be insane. So there's going to be a good environment. Like I said, I think there's just an overall better mood with the team. You don't have to travel. And let's be real, LA Galaxy aren't the best team. They haven't been for a while.
And I think they lost a lot of the talent. Like the Pavone's, the Christian Pavone's gone. I mean, they've lost a lot of talent, and they didn't really back it up.
Exactly. So, obviously people see the name, and they're like, oh, no, the Galaxy are in town. But they haven't been that kind of team probably since Ibra left. So I'd say 3-1 Inter tomorrow.
Okay, 3-1 Inter. And then very quickly, predictions for the standings. Do we get into the playoffs? I think he might have cut off there. No, he's there. Okay, well, I'm going to answer for him, and I'm just going to say that we are going to get into the playoffs. I've been saying that. I think we'll finish 7th, 6th, or 5th in the East. That was Achilles from Lemon City Live. You can follow him on Twitter at AchillesXC2. Does a great job, covering all kinds of sports with Lemon City Live. So with that said, I think we're going to turn it over, go into the next swing. We'll have Crosstalk with Deep Into the Count, Alex Aguirre and Christian Chase coming up here at the locally owned South Florida sports station. It's OnSideRadio.com.
You're listening to Red Card Radio with Austin Robillard. Take Onside Radio your home for sports talk everywhere with a MyTuner Radio app. Find the app at OnSideRadio.com.
ADHD. It's the child who can't pay attention or sit still in school, right? The answer may be yes. Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, or ADHD, can be complicated and it can last a lifetime. Living with a condition can sometimes be a challenge. It may take years to accept a formal diagnosis, and it's not always easy to find the right treatment plan. Did you know that up to 75% of children and adolescents with ADHD have at least one additional mental health condition that also requires a comprehensive approach to treatment? ADHD guidelines were recently updated to reflect the need to screen for associated disorders. Be sure to talk with your child's doctor about proper screening and visit moretoadhd.com for additional information. That's moretoadhd.com. This message has been brought to you in partnership with Adhd, ACO, and CHAD.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Miami Dolphins fans, join us for OnSideRadio.com's NFL Draft Party at Sports Grill in Miami, 11481 Southwest 40th Street, Bird Road. Join Big O and Alex Dono for this two-night event starting on Thursday, April 29th at 7:30 p.m. and Friday, day 2 at 6:30. Drink and food specials, giveaways, and the best damn draft party in South Florida. Join us for a two-night event as OnSideRadio.com and Sports Grill on Bird Road bring you the best NFL draft party on the planet.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
And might you be buzzed when you suddenly love everything?
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
With Make-A-Wish, the impossible becomes possible. A girl battling cancer can become a race car driver battling the course. The boy showing all the nurses his fire trucks can take the helm of a real one. Wishes can give kids with critical illnesses the strength to keep fighting, get better, and grow up.
Where there's a wish, there's a way.
Wishes need you. Visit Make-A-Wish at wish.org.
Welcome back to Red Card Radio. To reach out to Austin, dial 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Here's Austin Robillard.
All right, and as we round out the Inter Miami CF 2021 season preview here on Red Card Radio, I am joined by the guys who do a great job covering the Marlins on Deep Into the Count. It's Alex Adhd and Christian Chase. Alex, Christian, how you guys doing today?
What's up, Austin? I'm doing good, man.
How you doing, Austin?
Christian, there you are. Nice to see you, man. I'm gonna get right into this. First because we just talked about it very quickly off the air.
Yeah.
Jazz Chisholm. I heard, Christian, that you are a big Jazz guy, and I was scrolling on Instagram and I've seen pictures. I'm not a big baseball guy myself, but this guy's got to be like the freshest man in baseball. What is so good? Why is he so likable? Is he good? I mean, he it seems like he brings this flair to the Marlins that we kind of need, right?
We need it more than anything. Jazz Chisholm is everything that this Marlins team, he's a spark to not only the offense, but just the energy of the entire team. I mean, yeah, he has blue hair, which is great. Super fun for a super boring sport in baseball compared to some other sports.
The chains.
The chains is a big deal for me. You know why? Because
the chain.
I don't mind players who wear chains. If you can back it up with your play.